if one is focusing on mundane life, one is usually circling around in the same bandwidth of frequency, in the same range of energetics, just going round and round and round. Seemingly, things are progressing forward because the years are passing by, the clock is ticking, one is growing older and doing all the usual things that people do, focusing on their life. But on a universal clock, which is not a linear clock, on a universal scale, it is actually an ever-rising vibration. In terms of the manifested universe, it is an ever-rising vibration. I call it the great universal vortex. It is a vortex because it includes many cycles. The whole universe is made of cycles. It is a very beautiful and intelligent being. And as we know, there are three key deities in the Hindu tradition: the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer or the finisher of the cycles. So once one focuses on a universal rising of vibration, on this universal vortex, then one is truly moving forward. Then one is truly changing their life, truly moving forward multidimensionally. While most of the humanity are focusing on the mundane life activities, and that is only applicable to pretty much the lower bottom of the universal vortex, which means a mundane life and eating and sleeping and working, entertaining, birthing and dying. It just goes on and on and on. The one who is truly focusing on the self or on the source is the most aligned to the self and the source, because they're always, not only on the New Year's Eve celebration, but every day and every hour and nearly every moment, there is that focus on the self, on the source. That which you focus on determines your reality, your manifestation, your outer manifestation, your inner reality, your inner manifestation. Although in the absolute terms, there is only one reality, outer, inner, it's one thing really. And what happens is that at every domain of this universal vortex, you're interacting with certain fields of energies. You're interacting with certain types of energies. You may call them experiences, events, circumstances, but essentially they are fields of energies or types of energies that get also externalized in your life situations and circumstances. So we may understand that in each of the cycle that we go through, there is a certain type of energies that we're interacting with. And of course, when you complete the interactivity, when you complete the purpose of those energies, you're ready for something else. You're ready for something of a higher quality. A higher quality doesn't mean necessarily much easier, as some may assume that your life is going to get easier and easier and easier. until you will just sit beneath the palm tree and drink coconut water. No, life is life, and the experiences become more enriched, deeper, more complete, more fulfilling, much more closer. Yes. So, for example, if at work you're meeting many people or new people or same people, even with the same people, your relationship becomes more deeper, more fulfilling, more enriching. Because even though something may seem to be the same, but your relationship has changed completely with that. Some people were asking me recently, how can I get rid of this situation or finish off with this situation? And sometimes it is not possible to change a situation. In other words, get rid of it or resolve it. Sometimes it is not possible to change it. For example, let's say your relatives. If you have some troublesome relatives, you can't change them because they're your relatives. You may change your friends, but you can't change your relatives. Yes, and possibly every Christmas, every now and then you have to meet them. And let's say one or two are a bit challenging relatives. So you can't really change them. You can't change that situation. But what can change is how you relate to them. So you see, the outer situation cannot be changed because they are your relatives in this example, but the way you relate to them, that can change. The way you see them, the way you talk to them, the way you don't react to them, and so on, that can change. So therefore, there is the famous Buddhist Zen saying, before enlightenment, I was chopping the wood, carrying the buckets of water. And after enlightenment, I'm chopping the wood, carrying the buckets of water. Nothing changed, yet everything has changed. So self-realization, it doesn't necessarily mean that situations are going to change, people around you are going to change, that everything is going to change. It doesn't mean that, no. But the way you see, the way you approach things, that may change very much. And in the inner, so to speak, experience, as you are focusing on the source self, you're polishing your vibrations, your frequencies. So if 5 years ago you were struggling with a certain particular quality, now it's no longer a struggle. And now it may have even been polished up to a virtue. A virtue means that which is of a higher vibration, that which is aligned to the divine, and that which is an expression of a divine. So if 5 years ago you were getting angry at certain situations, now perhaps you have developed compassion or kindness. Yeah, so you have transformed the seemingly negative into a divine quality, into a virtue. For those who are also aware of the multidimensionality, it gets even more interesting because you realize that you're not only focusing on the source self and developing your virtues, which is more of a Advaita Vedanta path. If you're on a bhakti path, just to put it in the middle, which is love and devotion, you may continue after self-realization, expanding your love, expanding your devotion and relation with the divine as yourself. In terms of ascension work, the possibilities and the amount of work increases tenfold. So not only the possibilities increase tenfold, because there is so much more to learn, there is so much more to work upon, but also the complexity increases tremendously. If you have attained a certain degree of mastery of your own emotions and your mind and basic energy management, in the ascension work, it is, well, infinite mastery. It is never ending, because as soon as you complete your lessons and learnings at that range of energetics, you become granted access, or you access deeper aspects, broader aspects, higher aspects of not only your own self-management, but then you also step into the service to others. So thus you become empowered to hold groups and gatherings and focus on various life form kingdoms, such as human kingdom, animal kingdom, elemental kingdom of the elements, and minerals and plants, and larger systems such as Earth itself, which is a very complex system. But then the Earth itself is, even though it is a very complex system, an organism, a being actually, in terms of the galaxy, it's just a cell of the galaxy. So the galaxy is even billion, trillion fold more complex system. And even this galaxy is not the biggest one. So it goes on and on and on infinitely for you to see more and learn more and keep your eyes always, always open.